Dr. Norell, you began to participate in scientific expedition at the age of 14 years. How did it happen?
Friends of my parents were scientists. My father was an architect, and he had a lot of friends who were engineers and scientists. And I started by accompanying archaeologists to go to the field, and then later paleontologists on expeditions.
Okay. And Professor Norell, what are the benefits that we can draw from the study of dinosaurs?
I think that any time that you study animals that lived in the ancient past, it gives you a greater appreciation for the animals that are alive today and why we should conserve them. But I also think that we don't really need a reason to study dinosaurs because, everybody is interested in dinosaurs. I'm sure in this exhibit you'll have lots of visitors who would just come to this museum just to see dinosaurs. People like to think about them. They like to think about how they lived. They also like to think about how they disappeared.
Okay, now a strange question, I think, because how do you select the area where you're supposed to find fossils? And what is more correct to say? Do dinosaurs find you, or you find animals?
I think that people always ask us where we excavate, and there's a few things that you have to go to places where there's rocks of a particular age which are preserved. And once you find those, then those rocks have to be exposed. And they're exposed one of two different ways, either by people digging them up and making quarries and things like that, or to go to areas which are very remote, like Mongolia and Central Asia, where nobody's ever been looking for dinosaurs before, and you just find them lying all over the ground. So that's actually the kind of places I like to go. It's less work.
And which will be the next works, the next dig?
Well, we'll start early in the spring in northeastern China, and then a little bit later then we'll move to western China, to Gansu, and then I'll spend August in Mongolia.
Okay. And now what about your theory about feathered dinosaurs? Which are the consequences of this theory?
Well, I think that the feathered dinosaurs, some of which are on display here in this exhibit, are really the thing that conclusively shows us that birds are a kind of dinosaur, that birds are really living dinosaurs. And a lot of these animals, when they were alive, especially the small ones, they didn't really look like reptiles at all. They looked more like birds.
Okay, thank you.